Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum, a line that sounds simple, almost poetic. But why is Krishna called the Jagadguru, the teacher of the world? This isn't just a devotional phrase, it is a declaration of cosmic wisdom. In this short video, I'll explore the hidden depth behind these words and why Krishna's guidance transcends time, war, dharma, and the self. All of us know that Bhagavat Gita is revealed by Bhagavan Sri Krishna to Arjuna in Kurukshetra. But besides Bhagavat Gita, he also revealed Anugita and Uddhava Gita as well. So basically, there are three Gitas that Bhagavan Sri Krishna revealed. And in the next couple of minutes, let us briefly try to understand what's in these three Gitas and a very basic and simplistic comparative view about all these three Gitas revealed by Bhagavan Sri Krishna. In Mahabharata, there are certain episodes or moments that while reading literally sends chills down your spine. And for me, one such is the departure of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the end of his avatar. And just before he ends his avatar, there takes place one final conversation between Uddhava, who is an ardent devotee of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and Krishna himself. In terms of timeline, Bhagavata Purana runs in parallel to Mahabharata. Found in Bhagavata Purana, the Uddhava Gita is a conversation between Krishna and Uddhava. It covers more than 1,000 slokas and distills the essence of bhakti, renunciation, the force of time, the illusion of Maya, and the unity of jnanam and bhakti. This is not just a conclusion, it is a clear and lasting guide from Bhagavan Sri Krishna to Uddhava. In the Uddhava Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna offers his final and most comprehensive teaching, a culmination of all spiritual paths. He teaches Uddhava that bhakti, grounded in vairagya and jnana, is the highest means for liberation. He explains the illusion of material world, the nature of time, and the impermanence of the worldly pleasures. Krishna emphasizes that true freedom comes not through rituals or renunciation alone, but through unwavering devotion to the divine. That's in brief about Uddhava Gita, the last teaching of Krishna. Then comes Bhagavad Gita, something that all of us are quite familiar with. But there is a different perspective that I would like to present for Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita begins not in peace, but in chaos, on the brink of a war that would change history of those times. Arjuna, overwhelmed by the emotion, wants to walk away. He speaks of peace, renunciation, ahimsa, ideals that sound absolutely noble, but in that moment, they mask confusion, fear, and misinformation. He forgets his dharma, his duty as a protector of justice, and that's when Krishna intervenes, not to encourage war, but to destroy illusion. Through sharp clarity, he cuts through Arjuna's despair, ignorance, and reminds him that true renunciation is doing one's duty without attachment. Peace, ahimsa, non-violence, these are highly contextual. Apply that to the current India-Pakistan war. A lot of people, especially Indians I'm talking about, only Indians rather, talking of peace and ceasefire is the greatest virtue, ahimsa and all that kind of preachings. Because these people are in a sense of misinformation. When somebody attacks you, you attack back. That is the basic human instinct. And talking of peace at the brink of war is absolute misinformation, and that's what Krishna smashes by revealing Bhagavad Gita. Gita is not a call to violence. It is a call to inner clarity, fearless action, and dharma in the face of moral dilemma. Needless to say, most of us are quite familiar with Bhagavad Gita, but just for a quick touch and go, it is found in the Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata, and it has around 700 slokas spanning across 18 chapters. And the core themes are Dharma, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Sankhya, touching different philosophies and paths towards moksha. The third and the last one is Anugita. It unfolds in the quiet after the storm, after the Kurukshetra war is over, when the dust of the battle has settled and the peace has returned. Arjuna, now calm, approaches Krishna again. He says, "You spoke such profound wisdom on the battlefield. Can you repeat it?" But Krishna gently refuses it. He says that back then you were in crisis. Your heart was open. That moment can't be recreated. Instead, Krishna offers the Anugita not a repeat but as a reflection. It's more philosophical and more detached. He speaks about eternal self, the Atma, the nature of consciousness, yoga, and the paths to moksha. Unlike the urgency of Bhagavad Gita, the Anugita is in a calmer voice. The Anugita appears in Mahabharatam, Book 14, Ashwamedha Parvan, after the Kurukshetra war has ended. The Anugita shifts from action to introspection, focusing on Sankhya and Vedanta, dispassion, detachment from the senses, and Atma Jnanam. It's a quieter voice of Krishna guiding the mind inward, reminding us that victory in the world means little without clarity within. And that's what, through Anugita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna reveals again for the second time to Arjuna. If we do a comparative analysis of Bhagavad Gita, Anugita, and Uddhav Gita, all three revealed by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, certain interesting aspects come out. If we look at the tone, Bhagavad Gita is more urgent and actionable. Very concise in 700 slokas, he narrates the entire and ultimate truth to Arjuna. And at the end, he says that Yadhechase tadha kuru. I gave you all the knowledge what you need to know. Now you think and act based on what I told and what you understood. So that's more of a call to action. That's how Bhagavad Gita would be, or rather is. And coming to Anugita, it is more introspective and reflective in nature, the tone of Anugita. And Uddhav Gita focuses more on unifying Bhakti and Jnanam together. In one line, if you have to talk about the goal of Bhagavad Gita, it says perform duty with detachment. And Anugita, realize the self and renounce the material world. And then Uddhav Gita, surrender with love and transcend Maya and reach towards Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And to sum it up all, Bhagavad Gita is best for everybody, irrespective of what religion or what philosophy or what ideology you believe in, does not matter. I'll talk about this a little more towards the end of this video. But Bhagavad Gita is for everybody. It's not that I'm saying it as a practicing Hindu, but it's quite commonsensical in nature. We'll come to that later. Anugita is mostly for Advaita seekers and inward thinkers, people who are more interested in introspective exploration of the self. And for people who are in the path of Bhakti, Uddhav Gita would be the best one. It resonates fantastically with you. Now let me come back to the opening statement of this video, Krishnam Bande Jagat Guru. What is the real meaning of this line? You'll understand that now. Let's talk about Upanishads. The Upanishads, forming the concluding part of the Vedas, are profound spiritual dialogues between various gurus and sishyas. Here as well there is a misconception that Upanishads is Apaurushaya. That is wrong. Upanishads were handwritten over thousands and thousands of years in Bharat. They shift the focus from external sacrifices, typically which are in the Vedic rituals, to inner realization, exploring the questions like who am I? What is the ultimate reality? Through these sacred conversations, the Guru leads the seeker or the Sishya towards understanding the purpose of life and liberation. And there are 108 Upanishads in total. And if we scan through the essence of all these 108 Upanishads, this is how the sum and substance of all the Upanishads would look like. The macro view of all 108 Upanishads, these are the concepts that were discussed. Brahman, the ultimate reality. Maya, illusion. Avidya, ignorance. Dhyana, meditation. Karma and Punarjanma, rebirth. Prana Shakti, life force. Atman, Paramatma, self. Moksham, liberation. Jnanam, knowledge. Bhakti, devotion. Omkaram. The meaning of Omkaram comes from Upanishads. And then finally, the most important and the backbone of all the Upanishads is Dharma, which is righteousness. Now, these are the macro topics that you find in all the Upanishads. And it will take years for a person to read, let alone understand, just to read all these Upanishads. And the essence of all these Upanishads is given by Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Anugita, and Uddhav Gita. All three together. Especially Bhagavad Gita alone. In just 700 slokas, the essence, sum, and substance of all the Upanishads is encoded in Bhagavad Gita alone. Let me give you a small example. Let's take an example from Shvetashvatara Upanishad, part of Yajurveda. In Upanishads, the knowledge is conveyed through certain symbols. Just like how we use proverbs for short and memorizable phrases, we convey certain meaning, right? Same way, Symbols are used to communicate profound teachings in Upanishads, and one such is the upside down Aswadha Vruksham or people tree. The Shvetashvatara Upanishad, or the Upanishad of the white horse in very literal and crude translation, Shveta Ashvatara Upanishad. So the Shvetashvatara Upanishad explains the nature and cosmos as an upside down people tree. The roots represent the eternal and unchanging source, which is the Brahman, while the branches symbolize the temporal and ever-changing universe. Let me simplify that for you. We have this deep-rooted philosophy in Hinduism that everything in this world is a manifestation of God, right? That you are a form of Ishvara, I am also a form of Ishvara, the stray dog or a pig or a cow, everything, living or non-living, is a form of Parabrahma. Where is this thought coming from? What you're seeing on the screen, that's where it's coming from. Every leaf that you see on a plant, the source of it comes from the root. That is the reason the inverted tree is taken as a symbol to explain that entire philosophy. Now, this is the content from Shvetashvatara Upanishad in its spirit and essence. And in Bhagavat Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna uses the exact same metaphor. He says that Urdhvamulam adashakam aswaddham prahuravyayam chamdasi yasya parnani yastam vedasa vedavit. And the translation is, they speak of an eternal Aswadha Vruksham with its roots above and branches below. Its leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows the secret of this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So the first line is quite easy to understand, that there is an upside down tree, but the second line is quite cryptic in nature. So basically what he's saying is the roots are akin to Vedas and the leaves are akin to the nature and cosmos and everything in it. Now, one who knows the source of Vedas or the source of these roots would know the essence of this entire tree. Basically, the same philosophy explained in Shvetashvatara Upanishad is simplified or rather distilled and presented in Bhagavad Gita. This is not just for Shvetashvatara Upanishad. The essence of all the 108 Upanishads and the 4 Vedas and everything in the Vedic corpus is summarized by Bhagavan Sri Krishna in just one Bhagavad Gita alone, and by extension Anugita and Uddhav Gita as well. And this is the reason why he is revered as Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. The complete essence of what one can possibly learn in his or her life is absolutely simplified and distilled and given to us by Krishna. Hence, Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. And just because I'm using these words of Atman, Brahman and Moksha and liberation, that absolutely does not mean that I understand these concepts. In all honesty, most of these topics go above my head. My intention is only to bring forward that such and such scriptures exist and to spread awareness about the scriptures. But when it comes to me personally resonating with the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, let me conclude this video with one such I would like to share with you. These are the words of Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. If you fight, you will either be killed on the battlefield and go to celestial abodes, or if you win, you will gain victory and the kingdom. Therefore, Arjuna, rise with determination and get ready to fight. So basically, irrespective of what the outcome would be, your duty is to fight. This is what Bhagavan Sri Krishna says. And this one, every time something goes wrong, I always remember these words, Yuddhaya Krutanischayah. Whether you're going to succeed or not, just keep on fighting. Not literally, but metaphorically, you know what I mean. This is the reason the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Krishna is for everybody, irrespective of your caste, religion, gender, region, wherever you belong to. Doesn't matter. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. That's the ultimate truth. And as always, thanks for watching.